Wanted to record this as soon as possible because I just have so many things that I want to say and I just want to get it on video. I don't want to. Usually, I have a habit of talking to myself and then I miss things, and then I don't record it and I might miss it. But anyways, I just want to talk about something here, and this one is really personal. I know a lot of the other videos they seemed deep, but I'm just gonna go into a real thing that's happened, a real story, and this is kind of the motivation behind all of my videos. And I'm getting a little teary-eyed here. Oh man. Man, okay. Yeah, I know it sounds like, maybe if you've seen my previous videos, it sounds like I know what I'm talking about and like I have this figured out. The truth is I don't. I'm making these videos to kind of help me and hopefully help other people not figure this out, but just be guided. Because there's really no figuring this out. This is a really deep issue. And these videos just help me kind of relax, and they help me explain things like mistakes that I've made so I don't repeat them. It's just introspection to hopefully improve in the future, right? And the reason I'm getting kind of emotional here is just because this is a really deep issue that I've had as a senior in high school, and just haven't ever recovered from it. Still dealing with it to this day. So we're gonna go over it. So I'm gonna explain what happened. So there's this girl at my school, and again, I don't place any blame on this person. This person has done nothing wrong. They're just living their life. It is completely my fault that, this is happening. Well, not my, it's my, I guess, responsibility to deal with this, basically. I'm not gonna blame anybody. Oh, this girl is attractive. They're making me lust. No. Because if that girl didn't exist, you'd just pick another girl. You would find another one to place your fantasy onto, right? I don't know if anybody else struggles with this recovering from PMO, but I just have a really, you could call it limerance. I've done research on this, like the psychology behind it. You could call it limerance. You could call it, maladaptive daydreaming, constantly fantasizing about having this perfect, not just a perfect object, like putting your happiness and worth on an object or a person, but also just having this fantasy of like uh what you want your life to be like, and just kind of fantasizing and just pretending, that you're in that life. And that's just kind of an issue that I've had for a while. And I can say specifically there's this girl at my school in my grade that I find very attractive. I don't know, I think other people find her attractive too, but I mean that's obvious. But I personally, that to me, she's the best looking, and just, and not just looking, like just everything about her I seem to really like. I don't know why. Okay, but here's the issue. This is the catch, right? Um, they don't really show any attraction towards me. So I'm attracted to this person, but they don't really show attraction towards me, and you can kind of see why. I made those previous videos. Those previous videos kind of talk about. I'm gonna close this just in case it's lagging. But those previous videos cover topics similar to that, because I was trying to explain myself through the situation. What is the situation? I don't have the courage to go up to this person and talk to them because they're so busy. They try. I don't know if they're actually busy, but they really do seem busy. We don't share any classes together, so I can't take advantage of like my aura, because she won't sit in my presence for more than a couple minutes. She's always gone. Um, she's always busy. She does sports. I don't do sports, so I'm not in the athletic department. I could do, but I'm not gonna do a sport just to get a girl. That just seems stupid to me. It seems humiliating, and I'm not gonna. humiliate myself just for a person. If you're meant to be with somebody, you should just get with them. You shouldn't have to join a sport. And I'm athletic, right? I exercise on my own. I'm actually pretty good. I'm in pretty good shape right now, I would say. I stretch. I try to stretch for my front splits. And again, I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just saying I'm not a couch potato. So I don't think I would have to join a sport to prove to this. I'm not. The point is, I'm not trying to prove to this person anything. Okay. But the downside, of course, is it's like they act like I don't exist. They pretend I don't exist. They're really moving fast all the time. They're walking really fast through the hallway. I could give this person a name. We could, what we'll do? On the channel Hamza, he talks about Jeffrey and Adonis. We'll just call her Jessica, or whoever that person is. No, wait. He switched it, man. He switched it a couple times. First, he was calling him just Jessica, then he said Anastasia, and he kept changing the name, bro, on that YouTube channel, Hamza. Anyways, I'm gonna come up with. We'll just say Jessica, because I don't have a name. I don't want to reveal the name or anything. And this girl just is always busy, doesn't share any classes with me, but I like her. And that is the torture of this. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this. It's frustrating when there's someone who seems just barely within your reach, within your grasp, because you go to the same school maybe, but you can't get with them because you don't share any classes. There were a couple of times like we had a concert together, um, but we're in separate groups, so it's not, if you're in separate, we're in separate groups, so it would we were separated most of the time. And I'll just say this: it just seems like life is just keeping us separate. I don't know. And again, yeah, she seems to always be busy, and there's rarely ever an opportunity for me to like talk to this person. But the opportunities that I do get don't feel right. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like I don't want to approach, because approaching, unless it comes natural, you know what I mean? And you would know what I mean if you're familiar with social situations. Like sometimes things just don't feel right. Like let's say you're trying to make a joke, you can't just make a joke at any moment. You have to wait until the right moment to make a joke for it to actually be funny, because you need context, right? And how this relates, you don't want to just approach somebody randomly on some random day. It has to actually make sense. And I understand, okay, maybe you'll be a little bit nervous, okay, understandable, but it shouldn't be so extreme to the point where you're shaking and it feels like you're not meant to do this. That's what I'm saying. A lot of the times, like, you're approaching with no context. There's nothing to talk about. It's not natural. And if it's not natural, what's the point? It just takes too much effort, and you're most likely going to be placed in the friend zone if it doesn't go smoothly. You could say, okay, walk up and find something to talk about. What are you going to find? There's nothing, okay? Some people can do that, not me. And really what I'm trying to do here, so I'm explaining the issue, but ultimately I can't blame anyone for the issue because no one did anything. I'm the one that created this. I don't even know how this desire happened, but somehow it's my desire. It's not anyone else's. No one else did this. It's just me. So it's like I can't blame anyone. So what am I doing? What's the goal of this video? I'm trying to see what is the lesson here. Um, in a nutshell, a person that I like who appears to be busy, who appears to be constantly doing things, running around, so I have no opportunity to actually interact with them. While at the same time, and this is funny, they pretend like they're interested. They show signs, but then they won't come up to you and talk to you. I don't know why. Okay. So it keeps you hooked, it keeps you interested, but at the same time, you never get to make anything of it. You never get to interact with the person. You never get to actually do anything with the person. So I don't know what this is, but I do know one thing. I want to know, what is the lesson? What am I supposed to learn? Because if I don't learn from this, it's just going to keep repeating. And honestly, I am tired of it. I want this thing to end. So I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, where basically there's someone that you like who shows signs. Okay, I'm not saying if they show no, like they show signs that something could happen, but they act like they're busy, or maybe they actually are busy, and you never get the opportunity to say anything. And if you do have the opportunity, um, well, you don't get the opportunity because there's never a good. And I'm not saying you have to always wait for the right moment, but what I am saying is it never feels right. You know what I mean? It never feels like maybe I should do this. Never feels right. Always feels like there's some tension or resistance when you do it. So again, I don't know what the reason for that is. Or when you even when you plan it, when you plan, okay, maybe I'm gonna go speak to this person. You plan it and then you feel resistance as you're planning it. Like, how does that happen? I don't know. And then I also wanted to reveal to you what is the biggest mistake. I know I opened the video saying I made a big mistake, and the big mistake was becoming obsessed in the first place. Continuing to chase, continuing to crave and say, okay, maybe I can get this because I had nothing else to focus on. You need something in your life, and so what I would like to call this is I call it investing. You're investing your energy, time, attention into someone who's giving you little to nothing in return. Maybe they'll give you a small glance. That's all you get. You ain't getting you ain't getting nothing else. It ain't going anywhere. And so they do that because they know that's going to keep you hooked on them. They know that's going to keep you feeding with your energy, right? But a time comes when enough is enough. A time comes where, okay, you know what? I'm just going to invest. I'm done investing into this person and I'm going to now invest in myself. This is where you learn how to make money. And so what I used to do is I used to just exercise and I would just, okay, let me develop a physique. But you're not exercising your brain, you're just exercising your body. You got to use your brain. Learn. I know a lot of people think money is bad. I don't think it's. I think as long as you're making money to actually do something with your life. Like, I want to make money so I can pay for college, and then also so I can pursue music, and I want to have a foundation to actually do what I want to do. I'm not just trying to make money just to make it for no reason. There is a reason, and also to be financially stable, so I don't have to it's just something like I don't want to have to worry about it, you know what I mean? I don't care about becoming rich or anything, becoming like a billionaire. I don't need that, but I would like to make enough to live comfortably and to go do things and stuff, right? So I don't think it's bad. I think it's just bad when you put too much value into it, but what I will say is just flip it. Stop investing into one person and just start investing into yourself. And it can be in any area. It doesn't, like, I can't say specifically for every person, but everybody has something that they can do for themselves. I started out with exercise, but like I said, that kind of you're only exercising your body, you're not exercising your mind. And if you're going to exercise your mind, you might as well make money doing it. So you might as well find ways to make money to then fuel whatever it is that you actually want to do. At least that's my approach. That's what I'm thinking of doing now. And the reason I make these videos is just to get important things off of my, I guess, my chest, and just share, see if anyone can learn. I will end on this. There is one last embarrassing thing I did. Um, found this okay, I found this person's social media and then took screenshots of a bunch of their pictures and stuff. And then I just kept fantasizing to these images, and it was a huge waste of time and energy. I probably spent like a couple of hours yesterday doing that, and I thought somehow maybe that would manifest it in my life, and it just makes no sense. It's stupid. You're just becoming more obsessed with the person. You're not getting anything in return. You need, but I didn't know any better. I didn't. Okay, so um, I'm trying to learn. I wonder what is the lesson there. The lesson is to not invest so much into anybody. Invest in yourself. That's the lesson. And so now what I'm gonna try doing is just invest in myself, make as much money as possible right now, so then I can go pursue what I want to pursue. Right now I'm looking at short form video editing with AI. We're gonna see where that leads. But yeah, just invest in yourself. Don't invest in other people. And I think the way to go about this, because it can be difficult. It can be difficult because you're still gonna be struggling. Like you still have that desire. The desire doesn't just go away just because you start pursuing other things. But I do think that by investing in yourself, the desire decreases. It goes down because now you're focused on something else. You're not focused on this other person, right? So I think it'll help the desire. But I do think it's crucial not just to do exercise, because I did that for a long time. I thought, okay, I can just exercise, and then by becoming in shape, then I can get what I want. I can attract what I want. But that, for me, that wasn't enough. You got to do whatever your purpose is. Maybe your purpose is to become in shape because maybe you're really unhealthy, and if you get in shape, you're kind of fulfilling that purpose to be healthy. So maybe if you do that, that's going to be enough to attract what you want. But for me personally, it was not enough. I was in the best shape of my life, at least cardiovascular shape, a couple of years ago. And I didn't get anything, dude. You got to invest not just in your physique, but in everything. And for me, money I think is the way, because it just makes sense, because then you can use that to do the things that you want to do, which is your purpose, right? So that's just my interpretation of it. Hopefully you can learn something from this. Don't make the mistake I made with obsessing over people. Just don't. It's not going to end well. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope if you're in high school, you can learn from this. This is coming from a high school senior, so hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.